All right. So let's have a review now. The first key verse for our book of Exodus is in chapter what? 6. You got it? Verse 6 to 7. So the first one, we're going to look at chapter 6, verse 6. God said to Moses, I will bring you out from Egypt, from slavery of Egyptians. Did God do that? Yes, right? And we finished the first part of Exodus from chapter 1 to 18. That's all the story is to draw them out from Egypt to what? To the Sinai Peninsula. Second part of the book is from the key verse, Exodus chapter 6, verse 7. God said to Moses, I will take you to be my people. Wow, God wants to take them as his people. That's very special. This time, God claimed them as his people and entered into a covenant relationship with them. So they have like a vow. So in Exodus 19, the Israelites arrived at the base of Mount Sinai, and God spoke to them. And then when they see the smoke, the quake, the thunder, they were what? In fear. And then they said, okay, Moses, you talk to God and let us know. Be our mediator. So Moses tried to them, and then they say, okay, we will agree on what God said about the laws. Okay. In chapter 20, we have two things that took place. What are the two important things in chapter 20 again? Ten Commandments. Building of an altar. Give them applause. You see that before you worship God, God wants you to know him, know his laws. Right? So 10 Commandments, that's God's 10 Commandments, the basic of all the Mosaic Law. Expand from that one. 10. And then the altar come next. He didn't build altar. He gave them the 10 Commandments before the altar. So you see, you have to have the words of God. You have to know him and then worship him. Altar, you come there to worship God. That's how we can come to him. Right? Israel don't have Jesus Christ. So they need an altar at the time to make offering and sacrifice. So they can come to get near to God. Okay, we have Jesus Christ. So we can go directly, boldly, without fear. That's the difference there. All right, so altar. Last week we finished chapter 21, verses 1 to 32. Remember those? We learned some of the Mosaic Law. All right, let's take a quick look of that. First one, we learned that God's commandment regarding slavery. We talk about slavery. Man slaves, remember? That the man will work only 6 years. After 6 years, the 7 years, they're set free. So have a limitation. And we'll also talk, they can continue if they want to, right? If they say, oh, I love my master. I like to serve him. Can continue. That's go. If he agree on that, he will serve the master forever. All right? Next, we have a female slave. We talk about female slave. Female slave is not like the man slave. They are not automatically set free after 6 years. Right? There's a certain condition. Next one, we talk about God's commandment regarding murder. Remember? In this way, we can learn what is murder, what is killing, right? All right. There's this distinction between premeditated murder and accidental manslaughter. So two kinds. It's once by accident you kill someone. And there's another one you plan it. Premeditated murder, to kill. So that's the one God said what? If they kill, he had to be killed. Right? Life for a life. But the accidental murder or manslaughter is not. So God instituted the first what? The capital punishment for premeditated murder. So there's a capital punishment that God instituted. But our law try to abolish that no more. You just go to jail, That's all they want. And we feed you there, we give you food, drinks, everything you want. Okay, that's better life, right? So you will commit murder without fear because I will go to a better place than outside, right? Okay. Next, God's commandment regarding violence or abuse. That's the one. What do we learn here? Require death penalty for a person who struck or cursed their parents. It's 10 commandments. You're against 10 commandments. That's the fourth commandment. You should honor your parents. Then what did you do? You curse and strike your parents. So he said, put to death. Kidnapping a person and to sell them or whatever reason. That's a crime worthy of death. Right? And it's always happened to our country, kidnapping. What else? Also, when a master went too far and in disciplining the slave, what happened? They killed the person. And that master need to be punished. God has a rule for everything. Another one is if two men are fighting and a pregnant woman got in the way and give premature birth to the baby. That's also what? God will punish those people. That man should be punished. You see how God valued our womb, the baby inside our womb? You see that? How important? And what we do in here right now? Promoting what? Abortion. God tried to value our life in the mother womb. And what we do? Promoting what? Oh, you don't want the unwanted baby? Abort it. No problem. We have a clinic, free. Everything is free. Just come. You see, it's against the Bible. So when we know more about Bible, we know what is right, what is wrong. Did you see that? If you don't know Bible, you will not know. Right? They will explain, but they explain their human reason, not spiritual or godly. Last one is God commandments regarding animals. Wow. It says if the owner of the ox knew his animal was dangerous, they know already it's dangerous and you didn't confine it. You let it go freely. And then what happened? And they kill someone, and that owner should be put to death. You know already you should either tie it or put it or somewhere, right? You didn't do that. So you should be put. So that's what we learned so far in summary, the four commandments of God. Okay? All right, we're going to start a new one. What's the title? Before we go. Very easy. Lesson from Mosaic Part 2 now. Last week is Part 1. We have that God's commandment. So we learned about justice between human relationship, right? Last week is about human relationship. Tonight we will talk about case of property damage. About property, not human now. Property damage. It's from Exodus chapter 21, verses 33 to 22, verse 15. Okay. Does any one of you have heard about property damage liability insurance? Yes? How many? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Only 11. The rest of you don't know what is that. Oh, 12, 13. Good. Here we go. Let's take a look. Property damage liability insurance is an insurance coverage. When you bought a car, they're required by law. You have to buy that. It pays for damage to another person's property if you are at fault. Let's say you're driving, right? Let's take a look. Look at that. You're driving. Then you fell asleep and you hit someone like that on your left. Look at the left picture. So that's your fault. Because of your insurance, you have what insurance? A farmer's State Farm. You are covered. So you're covered. So because it's your fault, they will pay the other party to repair the car or whatever, right? And then your car hit, they will not pay you. But if you have called comprehensive insurance, then insurance have to pay to repair your car. So you see the insurance have a different program or policy inside. So this is property damage liability insurance. Okay. So is it good to have a property damage liability insurance? Yes, I have a nephew. He make a lot of money. Maybe a year is like 80 or 90,000. Then I find out one time he got accident, and he said he got no insurance. Oh, you make 80, 90,000, you cannot afford to buy insurance. He like to save money, he end up to spend more money. You see that? Yeah, so now he learned his lesson. From then on, he start buying insurance. Even the health insurance, I said, do you have insurance? No, I didn't get. Our company offered. Why? You thought you would be healthy all the time. Right? Now, you start to buy that health insurance also. Anyways, from the company, you just pay a partial of either. Maybe 50% or 30%. It depends on the company. So, yes, you need property damage liability insurance to protect yourself financially. All right? Because without it, you will be forced to repair or replace the property you have damaged out of your own pocket. That's expensive. Let's say, how about you hit a Mercedes or Tesla, and your insurance coverage is only $25,000. Not enough. Not enough, right? See, that's why it's important. Now, here's the problem before we start. During Moses' time, they don't have insurance company. That's the problem. They don't, right? Okay, so because they don't have, God make a solution. We call it the law of restitution. Law of restitution. So we will learn that tonight. Restitution means paying someone back for what was lost or damaged or stolen. You need to pay. Okay? So it's like to restore whatever it is. So this is God make. So you see, God knows what to do. You thought the State Farm started early. No, in Genesis already we have God assigned insurance already, right? See, God's earlier than that. They know that. Okay? So let's start. We'll divide our lesson into 4 parts. The first one is from Exodus chapter 21, verses 33 to 38. So we'll finish chapter 21. I call it loss or injury to animals. I told you we're going to talk about no more human being, right? Last week is about, now it's more property. Okay, can I have the left side? Read this part here, all right? 33 to 36. Let's start. When a man opens a pit, or when a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, and the owner of the pit shall make restoration, and he shall give money to its owner, and the dead beast shall be his. And when one man's ox butts another's, but it dies, then they shall sell the live ox, and the dead beast also shall share. And if it is known that the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has not kept it in, he shall repay ox for ox, and the dead beast shall be his. Let's analyze this one. So this is a nice basic way to live that kind of life. If you are a Christian, and then the people, unbelievers, saw you understand it and you're able to do that, we give God glory. It's not a matter of Old Testament and New Testament. It's not anymore. We are saved by grace of God through Jesus Christ. We are not saved by law, but by laws is to reveal God's character. Do you want to know God? Through His law. The one He told us to do, that's His character. Okay, got it now? So through here we'll see how God protects their slave. That's because they know slave need to be protected. That's God's heart. Got it now? So now let's take a look. It said when a man opens, if a man open or dig a pit, it was a hole there, a pit, okay. And then it caused an animal to be injured or killed. An animal, somebody, his neighbor's animal came by and fall down there and die and killed. He, the man who dig the pit, will pay the owner for the animal that his animal died. He had to pay them. But the owner of the pit could keep the injury of the animal. So let's say our neighbor horse went there and dropped and died. So he had to pay him the full price, the neighbor horse. And then, but the horse will be his dead horse. You got it now? You see, God knows, very fair. That's God. So we need to treat one another also fair. To be fair too, right? Because that's God's character. All right. Look at verse 35. If a man's animal kill another animal, I got, let's ox over here. And you have one also. And that ox is really bad. And he kill your ox. Then the live animal is to be sold. Okay? And the money and the dead animals shall be divided between the two. So, if that's the case, if he didn't know, the owner didn't know, first time, maybe the ox saw the snake and run and hit the other ox and die. So what happened? God said you have to pay. How do you pay each other? You have to sell yours. Okay? And then, if that dead ox, you have to sell it too, or not divide it by two. So they get 50-50. Right? Half. See how fair? God teaches them there how to live a life in that community. It's right new. If they will become a nation, they need these laws to guide them. Okay? So, here, they got a full price. On verse 36, on the other hand, if the owner of the animal, his animal, who killed another animal, knew of its dangerous habit or history. He knew already, right? And then he had to pay for the dead animal full price. He had to pay that neighbor animal full price. But he himself could not take the dead animal. He cannot get it. He had to pay, but this not belong to him, to the other guy. Because he knew. Why did you confine your ox or tie it or something, right? So that's another way to deal with it. So one, he didn't know. The other one, he know already the ox can gore someone or kill someone and you still let it go. So there's a different restitution. Okay? Any question or comment? So it's good to know. I don't want you to be a lawyer, Old Testament lawyer, but you need to know. So if next time you want to deal with someone, at least you can deal with them fairly, biblically, right? It's not we following the law, but we want to know God's revealed character on the law. That's God. He designed that. Okay? All right, let's continue. Here, let's pause for a minute. Let's move on. Give me the answer now. Number one, lesson from the Mosaic Law Part 2. What can we learn from here? Restoring property lost by? Letter N. I didn't hear a good answer yet. What we talking about here? The owner know or dig a hole and the animal drop and die, or he have his ox and gore another ox and kill it. What do you call that overall? Negligence. Thank you. Let's give them an applause. This is a perfect answer. Negligence. So neglect. So restoring property lost by neglect. God gave them a guide already. How? Right? So number one, we learn how to restore. Okay? To pay someone. So same thing. If you have sometimes Melin will bring a dog home. Somebody else, something happened to the dog. We have to go under that law. He thought just to bring it home. And the nice thing is, she will bring it home and then we have to take care of it. But it's good that I love dogs. I care about dogs. I talk to the dog, that's good. The dog is happy, play with me, okay? But how about something happened to the dog, right? So we'll be liable because of the law. All right, let's continue. So first one, negligence. If a man's negligence or carelessness caused an animal to be injured or killed, then he had to pay the owner of the dead animal. He had to pay them. And the owner of the pit could keep the dead animal if he doesn't know. All right? So in this law, we can see that God not only revealed his justice, but also he decided that people be careful and take proper care in doing something. We have to take care. That's the revealed God. Right? All right, let's go to our part 2 lesson. Can I have this side on my right? Let's read this part here. This is verses 22, 1 to 4. All right? Let's do it. If a man steal an ox or a sheep and kills it or sell it, he shall repay 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief is found breaking in, is struck so that he dies, he shall be no blood guilt for him. But if the sun has risen on him, there shall be blood guilt for him. He shall surely pay. If he has nothing, then shall be sold for his theft. If the stolen beast is found alive in his possession, whether it is an ox or a donkey or a sheep, he shall pay double. Wow. You see, remember Jesus when walking past by, and there's a tax collector named Zacharias, right? He saw Jesus coming. He tried to see who's that Jesus, but he's so short, he cannot see because people standing. So he climbed out on a fig tree, right? So to see Jesus. And Jesus saw him and said, Zacharias, come down. I'm going to your place today. Oh, he's so happy. All of a sudden, Jesus know him and call him, right? And he's coming to his home to eat with him. He's so excited and bring Jesus to home and open his house to all the friends, all the tax collector to come and eat, to celebrate, all right? And then he's so happy that Jesus acknowledged him and that Jesus give him a chance. And even said, oh, Lord, if I cheat someone, I will repay them double. Here from here. I will repay them 4 times is from here. Did you see that? So if you read the New Testament and you know about here, you know where it comes from. Why they say that it's not from their heart, but it's from the law of God. Got it? So here we see it. So let's take a look. Here we can see that theft is worse than negligence. Last time we talked about negligence. Now we talk about theft. If someone steals an ox or sheep and they kill or sell it, right? Kill or sell it, the thief must pay back how many for oxen? 1 oxen, how many? 5. For sheep? 4. Okay. When I read this, I said, I wonder why oxen is more. You have to pay back more. 5. Why not 1 for 1, right? Or 1 for 2. Why you steal 1, you pay 5 for ox, and 4 only for the sheep. So why is the penalty of ox more than the sheep? Because I found out that the ox was capable of labor, can work. You got it now? Yeah, he will make money. You're right. Okay? So, and then the owner depended on that animal every day. To have it missing for even a day would cause great hardship financially to the people. So when you steal or stole that ox, you had to pay 5 times. And the sheep only 4 times. But you will still say, it's still too much. I still want, I pay 4. Still too much, Lord. But God knows. The reason of God doing that, so it would discourage you to steal your neighbor's animals. So don't do that. Got it now? So it's like a father. The teacher talked to the father, right? And father was very, because the teacher said, your son is trying to steal the pencil of his classmate. When they got home, father was very angry and tried to lecture his son. Son, why did you do that? Don't steal the pencil of your classmate. Where's the box of pencil that I brought from my office? That's why no wonder his son will steal pencil, because his son's still small. But his father get the whole box from the office. That's stealing also, right? Yeah. There you go. Okay. So that's the reason, the stealing. Now, God tried to discourage them for stealing, to stop from stealing. That's why because it's the eighth commandment. Thou shalt not steal, right? The eighth one. So you are what? You violate the eighth commandment. No wonder God had to be strict on that one. Okay. Look at verse 2 to 3. There is no punishment for killing a thief. Look at that. How? If the thief in your home during the nighttime, you're sleeping, you heard something, and somebody come in, and you have a shotgun. You shut that. There's no punishment, no needed. They came into your house, right? Okay. Because that's an indirect support of the right of self-defense and protection of one's property and management. That's why they allowed you. All right, good. But if a thief breaks into a house during the daytime, that's what it means here, right? During the sun. That means daytime. And the homeowners kill him. Okay. The homeowner is guilty of killing. Did you see the same? At night you can kill, but not morning. God have a reason of that one too. Because in the morning, because most of the time thief come in the evening, not morning. So the morning is, this will be impossible, right? But it will happen, it's happening now, right? But if you watch news, those break in the mall or store, where? At night or morning? At night. Yeah, look, at night they break the glass and go in and get a lot of things, right? So at night, most of the time, the thief will come out. Okay, so you shoot it. You don't know, right? At night, so you can shoot it. You don't have to pay anything. Verse 4, if a thief caught with the animal he stole is still alive, let's say he stole an animal, is still alive, he was to restore it twofold or double. That kind of thing, you got it, they found it with you, you pay them not only one back, double. Double. All right? That's the standard restitution that God told them, right? But when it comes to like ox or sheep, that's different story. Okay? Any question or comment? No. Let's go to our outline number 2. Lesson from the Mosaic Law, part 2, restoring property lost by stealing. Let's give it an applause. Thank you. Yes, we're talking about stealing here. So, restoring property lost by stealing, God tell them what to do. All right? See that? God have everything detailed for us to learn. So, don't steal something from your office. All right? All right, now, this passage is all about stealing. What kind of application can we make from the principles in these verses? What kind of principle? To discourage sin of stealing. Of course, God don't want you to steal. We can defend ourselves, our family against aggressor, criminals, if they come in. But we should never kill someone intentionally, deserved or not. Let's say, intentionally you want to kill that and later you accuse them as a thief. No, you can't do that. God said no. Right? You have leave that justice up to the law. In case he did something wrong to you, let the justice, the police, the court decide. This shows that the sinning has consequences. All kind of sins have consequences. Remember that. So don't steal because the consequence is more than you get. So it's still 1 pencil, you have to pay back 5. Do you want that? You steal $100, later on you have to spend $500 because you have to pay for the consequences. So don't try, because you will have more blessing if you glorify God. You saw that $100, you saw it, pick it up, and then bring it up. Who lost your $100? Don't saw it, pick it up, and put in your pocket. That's wrong. All right? So pick it up and ask, did you check your pocket or wallet? Did you lose any money? That's how you glorify God. You say, oh, how come this person, $100, he didn't keep it? He asked who's the owner. Isn't it we glorify God? Oh, because he's a Christian. Got it now? We glorify God in that way. Okay. Now let's go to part 3 lessons. It's about boundaries of field. All right? Let's read this together. All together. If a man causes a field or vineyard to be grazed over, or lets his beast loose and he feeds in another man's field, he shall make restitution from the best in his own field and in his own vineyard. Verse 6, if fires break out and catches the thorn, so the stock grain or the standing grain or the field is consumed, he who started the fire shall make full restitution. Look, I know there's a lot of business, if no good, they will just let it burn and they can collect from insurance company, right? That's not good. The Bible says no, right? Yeah, okay. In Hebrew word, graze means to what? To be consumed, to eat, right? That's what graze. If a farmer lets his animal to stray in a neighbor's field, they go to your neighbor's field, he had to make restitution in kinds to his neighbor. They had to pay back. Anyone who carelessly started a fire, they say maybe, after you're farming, you have to burn those the leftover, the corn, the branch, and then cultivate the flow. So when you do that carelessly, and the fire destroys the crops of other neighbor, then you have to make restitution from yours. So God teaches us very well, right? So any question about this one? No question? Good. Let's go to our outline number 3. There you go. Restoring property lost by fire. Yes, thank you. Thank you. You pay attention. Yeah, this time, how do we restore property lost by fire from our neighbors? There you go. Come to here, and they will know how, right? We have to make full restitution. Here, if a man causes property damage, he is to make restitution. This illustrates the rights of others towards his property. They have the rights of the property. If you damage them, you have to pay them. Okay? Same thing with you. Let's say you own a big piece of land. Huge, let's say. Somewhere in Las Vegas or Palmdale or New Mexico. You own big. And you don't want people to walk in there. So you put a fence. Then what else should you do aside from that so they will not come in your property? Put a sign. Very good. Let's take a look. Yeah, there you go. There are many different kinds of trespassing signs. You have to put that. Yeah. On your left picture is the more common warning sign. Yeah. Private property, no trespassing. Violators will be prosecuted. That's a bit. On your right side, right picture is more serious warning. Imagine it said, warning, due to increased ammunition costs, we will not no longer fire a warning shot from heaven, straight shot to you. You look at the sign, right? Okay. Trespassing refers to when someone enters another's property, remember this, without the owner's permission or the legal rights to be there. In some instances, trespassing may be considered a form of assault. Got it now? You come to your home, and then you warn them, hey, you have to leave my front yard. And you don't want to leave, you can call the cops. You have the rights. You don't know what he's planning, what he's trying to do, right? Okay, California Penal Code 602. It states that every individual who commits a trespass by any of the following means guilty of misdemeanor. Let me take a look. Let me show you some. Destroying or stealing the owner's personal property. That's one. That's trespass. Damaging or destroying a sign. Take out the sign, so it's not. That's also trespass. Entering the property without permission. That's also trespass. Driving a vehicle upon the property without permission, you just drive over there. That's trespassing. Refusing to leave the property after being asked to leave. Let's say you ask the guy, hey, how can I help you? You can ask. You got no business here, you have to leave. Warn them. Okay? Give them a warning, so they have to leave. If not, show them the sign of the second one. All right. California Penal Code 198.5 said this. If someone breaks into your home, now we're talking about your residence, you have the legal rights to shoot them. California, we're talking here. It was referred as the Castle Doctrine. It was called Castle Doctrine, which frees individuals from legal persecution. It will free you. You will not go through a legal persecution if they shoot someone because they broke into their property. So don't go in. They may shoot you. Don't go in the property. All right? You better knock or call them before you go. Okay? Don't just walk in there. All right? You might get shot. Okay? All right. Let's go to part 4 lesson. Now, can I have all the sisters read this one? If a man gives to his neighbor money or goods to keep safe, and is stolen from the man's house, then if the thief is found, he shall pay double. If the thief is not found, the owner of the house shall come near to God to show whether or not he has put his hand to his neighbor's property. For every breach of trust, whether it is ox, for a donkey, for a sheep, for a clock, or for any kind lost thing, of which one says, this is it, the case of both parties shall come before God. The one who God condemned shall pay double to his neighbor. Okay. We're talking about people trust you. All right? And trust your things to safekeeping, to keep it. All right. Verse 7. If a man gave his neighbor money, let's say, sometimes at that time they don't have no safe deposit box. So they will go to their neighbor, say, oh, will I entrust you my money or my, even before we go in journey for maybe a month or two. So they have to leave it there for safekeeping. And then it was stolen, right? You entrust me, and it was stolen. Somebody broke in your house. And when the thief was caught, they find out who's the guy. The thief had to pay double. All right? Good. God have a guidance. How about if the thief could not be found? Let's take a look on verse 8. If they cannot find the thief, if the thief could not be found, the one holding the money in safekeeping, that is entrusted to me, like a trustee, had to appear before judges to see if he himself was the guilty one. Maybe he's the one who stole the money and said, I lost the money. Got it now? So they have to go before the judge. He said, God, when he said God, the house of God, the representative of God is the judge. So they have to go there and they have to investigate him and find out if he's guilty or not. Verse 9 said, if one holding the property for safekeeping is found guilty, they find out, you are the one who take it. So he shall pay double. Got it now? See how God settle our problem here? Okay. So somebody will entrust. I remember when Nathan going to Philippines, he entrusted me his 3 or 5 goldfish. I have to take special care because if he die, I cannot repay that. I'll be in trouble, right? So it is your responsibility if you receive it. Become yours. Don't say that, but you accept it. Once you accept it, it's your responsibility to take care of it. Got it? Clear? This is exactly what. So let's continue on verse 10 to 13. Let's finish this first. All right? Let's have all the brothers. Brothers, are you guys there? Let's read it. If a man gives to his neighbor a donkey or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep safe, and he dies or is injured or is driven away without anyone seeing it, an oath by the Lord shall be between them both to see whether or not he has put his neighbor property. The owner shall accept the oath, and he shall not make restitution. But if it is stolen from him, he shall make restitution to his owner. If it is torn by beasts, let him bring it as evidence. He shall not make restitution for what he has been done. Okay, so let's say he entrusts me the goldfish and die. Is there restitution here? Right? Okay, let's take a look. Verses 10 to 11. If a man gave his neighbor an animal for safekeeping, right? Maybe they're going too far away. And it died or disappeared. Then if the neighbor took an oath that he is not responsible, he did not have to restore the animal. He went there. No, I swear that I didn't take that. Somebody took it. Somebody stole it, right? He don't have to pay. But when you come to verse 12, on the other hand, if the animal was stolen while in the safekeeping of the neighbor had to make restitution because he lacked of watchfulness. He didn't really take care. He's there, he's watching there, and he says it's gone, it's been stolen, then it's your responsibility. Got it now? So don't accept anything if you cannot take care of it. Right? Say, no, I cannot. Sorry. Right? Because you have to pay double. All right. Verse 13. No restitution was required for an attack of beast. Let's say he have a dog, and coyote came and attacked the dog. Right? My rabbit was eaten by the coyote. I have 2 rabbits, right? So it's gone. You know, I feed the rabbit for a long time. It's fat. I don't even want to cook it, and the coyote eat it. Oh my. So nice, so fast, you know, then I've never tasted my rabbit, but the coyote tastes so good. And he came back with the second one. Gosh. All right, so no restitution was required for an attack of beast if the dead body of an animal and there was produced as evidence can show. There you go. You don't have to do that because it's beyond your control. Okay? Beyond your control. So if next time he entrusts me the fish, and then I can show the cat eat it, so it's beyond my control. I don't have to pay the restitution. Right? Okay? All right, any question? 2 more verses. All right, let's read this one together. Okay. If a man borrows anything of his neighbor, and it is injured or dies, the owner not being with it, he shall make full restitution. If the owner was with it, he shall not make restitution. And it was hired, it came for its hiring fee. All right, now analyze this one. Verses 14 and 15 deal with one last scenario, the loss or damage of borrowed property. It's borrowed now, right? You want to borrow. You know, at the time they need something you borrow, right? Or sometimes here, our sister cooking, they want to borrow like the pot for cooking. How about it was broke? Let's find out what we should do, right? Okay. Verse 14 says, if a man borrows something from his neighbor, and the neighbor is not present, he's not there, the neighbor, and when someone is injured or dies or damaged, the man shall make restitution for it. Yeah, you borrow. When you rent a car, how many have you experienced renting a car? You did, huh? Good. When you rent a car, they will bring the car out, wash and clean, and they go with you with a paper and check if there's damage, a scratch. Why? So you cannot deny later on, no, it's already there before. See that? That's why he have let you sign. Okay. Because it's a legal process. Now, on verse 15, if the owner was there, this time the owner was there when the property was damaged or it died, the one who borrowed is not responsible for making it good. So, let's say I loan you a rice cooker. And then I was there, you cooking, it didn't work. So you don't have to pay me. Right? Then I loan you the rice cooker to him. And then he bring it home. After a week he bring back, it's not working. You have to pay for it. Because I'm not there. I don't know what happened. Got it now? This is telling them how to deal with this problem, right? Borrowing stuff from your neighbor. Okay. If someone, verse 15, if someone rented something, now you rent. It's not borrow. This time it's rent. If rent something and then damage it or it died, the animal, at that time before they can borrow animals too. The borrower was not responsible. Why? You say, you rent it. And he said, according to this Bible, why he's not to pay restitution, not to pay? Since the rental fee have covered his liability. There's already insurance there. You pay them. It's included. Liability, property liability damage insurance. That's why when you charge they already covered that. Okay? So you don't have to pay. All right. So it's better somebody loan you something, you better pay them. So when you broke, you don't have to pay more. It's included in the rent. Okay? All right? You see that? If you know a little bit here, it's nice to know, right? When you read the New Testament, you will learn more on this one. Let's pause and go to our outline number 4. Restoring property lost in blank. Letter S. Very good. Who said that? Oh, thank you, Dorothy. Amazing. Safekeeping. Yes, this is telling us to restore when we entrust somebody for safekeeping, they have to be responsible. Yeah, they have to take good care of that, to watch it, right? So that's what we learned tonight. There's another 4 things that we learned. That's why there's 4 outlines. In ancient Near East, in their time, there were no banks, right? That they can. So personal property was sometimes given to neighbor for protection. They will entrust them. So if you are a trustee, you are responsible for loss unless the loss is beyond your control. You are responsible. So when my boss asked me to be the trustee of his will, so I have to be responsible to that now. Since then, I have to become. Why? His daughter want to take out the money. My turn is to protect. So she's so angry about not letting her to get any money. See that? Because I'm the trustee. Same thing here. So it's not the new thing that the lawyer make a trust. In the Old Testament, we already have trust. Trustee also, right? Just the term. Okay? Okay. The one who receives someone's valuable, like goods, clothing, animal, for safekeeping was responsible for that. Once you accept that, okay, you be responsible. Okay? We have to live that kind of life to glorify God. All right? Any question? No. All right, let's go to conclusion. Yeah, go ahead. The reason trespassing is come at night in the morning. At night, you're sleeping, right? So they come into your home and broke in the house, and the California law allowed you to do that. But the Bible said in the morning, you're not allowed to do that. Normally in the morning, there's no thief will come into your home, right? So there's a precaution that Bible tried to avoid. Okay. Outside or in a lot, or that's different story because you put a lot of sign, no trespassing. It's already said, no trespassing. It's like when somebody come to you, you ask it to leave, they have to leave. If they don't leave, that's against the law. You can call a cops because that's your property. That's already trespassing. They come in, even in the front yard or backyard. You can call a cops, and they know that that's trespassing already. Okay. Because in the morning you say, he introduced himself as a thief. He said, oh, I once is a thief also. So we are okay. Actually, when they come in the morning, they will not be that, because a lot of people awake. Your housekeeper, your family person, neighbors, all awake. So they can see who's that, right? So if you yell or you shout help or something, they will hear you in the morning. They're all awake. They're not sleeping. At night, they're sleeping. They don't know. We don't know too. So they're strictly at night, okay? Okay, so that's the reason. God has always good reason. Yeah, go. Oh yeah, I see that. You see, because they have to have defend themselves. They have themselves, their family, their property. They have the rights. We're talking about rights. God already talked about rights before, right? So they have that. So it's lucky he said, I didn't shot you. Yeah. If not, if you have the other sign, ammunition is so expensive, no more warning. You'll be in trouble, right? All right. Let's take a look now here. Our conclusion, it said, people have property blank. The one causing the loss of property by neglect or stealing must make restitution unless the loss is beyond his or her control. What do you think is the answer? Right. Very good. See, this side actually. Thank you guys. Give them applause that they can answer. They know what we are talking about here. God give us rights to our property, to our possession, right? So that's the right that gave us. See that? How good is God? Huh? Okay. Remember, this law was to be echoed and reflected in the world through our life. It needs to be reflected. Because that's God's own character. God revealed himself that he wants us. Doing that, we're pleasing him. We're glorifying him. If we know a little bit about this. Okay? This is true. In Old Testament, they have to live that kind of life. In New Testament, we need to live this kind of life too. It's not for salvation. Right? It's not for salvation. Okay. So, any other question? No? All right. This concludes our lesson for tonight. Thank you for your time. God bless you all.